G'day YouTube, it's Shane here once again, and today I just wanted to show you the magnificent clear blue cloud-free sky here in Adelaide, South Australia. And didn't want to get the sun in the lens just there, but you know, 360 degrees and more. Sorry if that gives you a bit of vertigo, but yeah, it's an amazing day. It's a bit windy, but we can cope with that. So today I am on my way to do some more flyering at the Garden of Unearthly Delights, and I've got another subscriber story, one that didn't go up in the last video, or the last video where I was talking about subscriber encounters. And what had happened was, now these weren't subscribers that I know of. So I, just as a joke, decided to record a YouTube short, and it was just me spruiking the show, the Charlie Caper Magical Show. And now, full disclosure, I do get paid to flyer for that show, and another one is called Ben Hart Up Close, which is another magic show, but a different kind of magic show. Anyway, so this couple walked past me as I was flyering, and they said, "Oh, we're buying tickets to the Charlie Caper show right now." I'm thinking, "Oh, fantastic!" And so they go off, get the ticket, and come back and say, "Oh, we got the ticket," and they're waving it in their hands. Fantastic stuff. And then they said, "We saw your YouTube short, that's why we bought the ticket." Oh my God. It was done as a joke. And I thought maybe it might have got like 50 views or something. It didn't. And it managed to get about 9 views when I checked it after they told me. So even a video with low views can still have a massive impact on real life. Only takes one person to see that video, and it can change their decision making in regards to buying tickets to a show, or buying a product, or whatever. You just don't know. And but I think it was a combination of seeing my video and hearing me say it in real life that pushed them over the line to do that. But I'm forever grateful for that, because when you encounter the people that watch your videos, it reinforces the fact that people are watching your videos, right? And it's easy to get lost in thinking about numbers, or the numbers need to be in the hundreds or the thousands to really impact any people. But there are people that watch my stuff. I talked about in the previous video that they've been watching my content from the beginning of this particular channel, and this channel's now 7 months old. I did the maths, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get monetized before August, right? I'm not going to get the subscriber numbers, and I'm not going to get the watch hours, but we'll see what happens. I might do a live on Saturday morning, and that should be fun. I'm also going to a meetup of comic book enthusiasts on Saturday, but we'll see what happens. Everything's all sort of up in the air in regards to my life and things like that. But also, I want to say thank you to everybody who used the code phrase swooping in the previous video, and for those of you who let me know that you do like the longer videos. I'm always worried that I'm rambling. I mean, there's a bit of that too, but I've had people say, "Oh no, my videos need to be short, they need to be succinct." and things like that. But do I, switch and change my content for one person who only saw 2 of my videos and may never ever watch them again? Or do I cater for my existing audience? And the metric that I prefer, the harder metric to measure in regards to success here on YouTube, is the returning viewer. So those of you who have seen my content before and trust me enough to see the next video are the returning viewers, and those people are really precious. Some people just scroll through, some people see a video, watch half of it, don't like it. And another thing that can play with your mind of a YouTuber in a negative way is the average watch time. And I know how to read the graph now. It's not horizontal, it's vertical. So if a video only gets like 5 views, right, and it tabulates, does all the thing, and you can look at the video and there'll be like a series of peaks, right, and then like there'll be timestamps of when they stop viewing, right? So you have 5 peaks on a video with 5 views, and what it does is it averages the time. So you might get one person that watches the entire video, but then you might get someone that watches 30 seconds of the video, and it skews the average down. But the perception in the mind of a YouTuber is, oh, people are only watching half of my videos, which is why I was using the code phrases. I started doing that with my podcast, because my podcast was half an hour long. And there are people who, it's funny, they sound like they mean well, but these are people that don't actually watch, or they might listen to an episode and say, on your video of a podcast, and go, that needs to be 5 minutes long. And you think, no, you're not my target demographic. And that's where you have to be really, really careful. Anyway, I'm about to get on the train. Back again, sorry about that. I've gotten into the city of Adelaide. I'm on Rundle Mall, and as I was saying, you do have to be careful who you trust, especially in regards to content creation. I do have a Patreon for those of you who have asked, and the Patreon was for the podcast Easy Like a Sunday Morn, and right now I just don't have time to record episodes, but I had 2 patrons, and I'd set it up to not to do like a monthly fee, because I was suffering from a lot of depression, so I found it very difficult to produce an episode every week, and then there were times when I just didn't feel like it and things like that. So it was per episode. One guy was paying $1, another guy was paying like $5, right? And Australian dollars. Not much, but hopefully eventually it would pay for like an internet bill or something or other. But the first guy left Patreon because he didn't like Patreon, because they were going to increase their prices and change how they were going to do things. So he cancelled all of his Patreon subscriptions, and then there's a guy by the name of Ralph Garman. He's a movie star, stars in a lot of movies with Kevin Smith, and of Jay and Silent Bob fame. So he cancelled all his Patreon subscription to all these local creators and artists, and then instead started giving money to Ralph Garman, a rich movie star who, just because he told a sob story. He was going through a divorce or something or other, and yeah, like the guy had money, but he was telling a sob story. So, and then he proclaims that loudly and proudly on Facebook, and I just saw that as a betrayal. Like the people that are genuinely struggling, you remove funding, and then you support people that have money or have access to fame, wealthy friends and stuff. It just let it left a better taste. It left a bitter taste in my mouth. Please excuse me. The other patron was somebody who was the guy that was paying the $5 a month. He was the person giving me all sorts of toxic advice, and he was saying that the podcast should be shorter and all this sort of stuff, and yeah, just micro adjustments, OCD level stuff, and in the end he left Patreon completely, and this was in July last year, so there goes all that funding. And once again, it was only $5, you know, like every few months, so it wasn't like a whole lot of money, but you would think that a proper friendship would overcome those sorts of things. But then again, was he actually listening to the podcast anyway? And those are the kind of people that you need to really, you can take what they're saying on board, but with a grain of salt. And in reality, when it comes to YouTube, you only listen to people that are on YouTube. But even so, there are people that are grifters here, and you know they're grifters because they're talking about growth of YouTube subscriber numbers, because they know that's what people measure in terms of success, right? And I've just given two stories of, one in the previous video and one in this video, of how success is completely different here. It's about connecting with people. If I get 5 people, for example, that used the code word on the previous video, on a 10-minute long video, that's a success. 5 people have watched all the way through. I get people jumping into my live shows. They're returning viewers. They're people that trust me. That's success. Now, is it paying the rent? No. I don't think I'm going to be able to be monetized in a single year. There are people on here saying that you can be monetized. I'm just avoiding the sun there. You can be monetized in under a week. Now, is that possible? Possibly, but the short-term gain is a long-term loss. In other words, you might have a viral video and people tune in, they subscribe for that video, because of that video, and then they want the same content, the same kind of content, and you may have gone viral for something that was a stray idea and not what you originally intended and not what you thought it was about and not what you can maintain every day. And then there are the other grifters, the grifters that are, you know, they're just talking about how much money they make on YouTube. This channel has no ads on it. This channel has no monetization on it. I was once monetized on my original channel. I made a grand total of about $300 Australian over the course of 3 years. that's $100 a year. And then they brought in the 1,000 subscriber minimum, and the ridiculous thing of the 4,000 hours of watch time. So I went elsewhere. I can monetize my videos elsewhere, and I have been doing that where I can. And that's another long story. That goes on about my life in crypto and things like that. Yeah, I know. I'll explain more about that in a future video. But yeah, people talking about how they're making thousands of dollars. Now, you can see their stats on a website called Social Blade, and for some reason for the last week it hasn't been measuring my stats, which would be interesting. But in terms of watch hours, I'm up to around 156, which is good, out of 4,000 that I need to be monetized. I need 3,000 to be part of the YouTube partner program, where you get all the first tier of like benefits and stuff like that, where you can legally charge people money for different services and things like that. That's why I have mentioned crowdfunding and why it's so important, but I'll do another deep dive into that as well. I'm currently 2 minutes away from having to start work, and I'm where I need to be, on the corner of East Terrace and Arundel Street, as you can see behind me. That's Gluttony, and that's the Garden of Unearthly Delights. Anyway, I'll say goodbye for now. This is a nice long video. I'm getting strange looks. Bye.